it is spooky season and Nintendo is starting their Halloween sale on the eShop, and this is going to end on October 31st at 11:59 p.m. And there are 28 games that I have selected from this sale that are worth picking up. So we're going to talk about all that here today and which games have the best deals for you. But if you're new to the channel, like and sub for more Switch 2 content. Let's get into it. First game on our list is EA Sports FC 26 Ultimate Edition. This is coming in at $67.99, 15% off. This just came out fairly recently, so the fact that the Ultimate Edition is already on sale is pretty nice. Honestly, it's kind of cool that you can pick this game up on sale. Now, I have not heard fantastic things about the performance of this game. It seems like another EA Sports game that's came out a little janky, but they're updating along the way. So if you're a big fan of football games, that being soccer football, definitely worth picking up on the Nintendo Switch. I'd imagine it's going to be a very similar situation to how Madden worked, where it came out and was not in the best shape, but still very playable, and they'll just continuously update it as time goes on. So if you're into that, definitely worth checking out. Next up, we have Skyrim Anniversary Edition. Now, I definitely think Skyrim is worth it on the Nintendo Switch 2. However, this game I have tested personally and is still locked at that 30 frames per second, which is a bit of a bummer. I'm really hoping sometime soon we get a Switch 2 update for Skyrim to make it run at 60 frames per second, maybe get the graphics on par with, you know, the other consoles. That would be super nice. This one's coming in at $24, 60% off. Skyrim's still a fantastic game, even at 30 frames per second, so I do recommend this one if you don't already have Skyrim for your collection. Cult of the Lamb Unholy Edition is available for $22.49, 50% off. Cult of the Lamb is probably my favorite indie game of all time. This game absolutely cooks, and we know that there's an expansion coming for Cult of the Lamb early next year, so if you have not already hopped in and started your Cult of the Lamb journey, I would definitely recommend picking this up now, so that way you are ready when the expansion drops. I can't wait. I'm very excited for the expansion. I actually plan to review it here on the channel. I am such a fan of this particular game. I cannot say enough good things about it. Then we have Hello Kitty Island Adventure Deluxe Edition coming in at $45, 25% off. I've heard nothing but good things about Hello Kitty. I've not played it personally, but it's got like that cozy game aesthetic. The graphics look very, very nice on this particular game. And like I said, I genuinely have not heard bad things about this game. I've only heard good things. Like, people just rant and rave about how much they enjoy this particular game. So if you're into those cozy, more, you know, just sit back and relax kind of games, Hello Kitty is apparently a very, very good one. Next up is Spiritfarer, and this one is coming in at $4.49 at 85% off. I've heard fantastic things about this particular game. Everybody says how good an indie game this one is, and I believe there's a pretty long playtime on this particular game. If I'm remembering correctly, this one comes in at like 30 hours if you're like really taking your time with it. So for less than $5, this is kind of a steal of a deal for such a game that's so well regarded and also has so much content packed into it. Next up, we have Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3+4 Digital Deluxe Edition. This one coming in at $45.49, 35% off. Pretty cool. This one, again, just came out fairly recently. I believe this one dropped in September, and this one is coming in 35% off for the Digital Deluxe Edition, giving you access to, you know, like Doom Guy and things like that. This is kind of cool that this one's already coming in on sale, so definitely worth picking up. I remember playing these games as a kid, and, you know, the original versions of these games, renting them at Family Video, and, you know, playing them on the GameCube and stuff. I absolutely love the Tony Hawk games from my childhood. I've not gone back and played the remasters yet. Maybe eventually I'll end up picking these games up, but right now there are so many games that it's very difficult for me to justify picking up anything extra with how much I already have on my plate. So while I think this is an awesome deal and very cool, not a game that I am particularly interested in picking up personally. Then we have Disney Dreamlight Valley Enchanted Edition. This one's coming in at $51.99, 35% off. I really like Disney Dreamlight Valley. I think it's a really awesome take on a cozy game with the Disney characters. There are so many Disney characters to interact with in this particular game. Really awesome addition. I believe they are still working on the Switch 2 version of this particular game. I have not seen anything reporting that it has come out. If anybody has other information that says the Switch 2 version is out, please let me know in the comments below. But yeah, this game is very, very awesome. I'm really waiting for that Switch 2 edition to hop back in and start playing this game a bit more on my Switch 2, because it did not have a ton of improvements with just playing on the new hardware. So I'm hoping that this game gets a really nice Switch 2 edition and is just something that people continue to play and enjoy on the Switch 2 when that comes out. But definitely worth picking up. I played it on Switch 1, had a good time with it. Very, very fun. It also has cross-save, so if you have it on other platforms and want to play it on your Switch 2, you're able to do that as well. Then we have Cuphead and the Last Delicious Course. Now, Cuphead is fantastic on the Nintendo Switch. This includes the DLC, and it's coming in at $19.43, coming in at 28% off. Very fun game. If you're into those more classic side-scrolling, shoot-'em-up games, Cuphead is fantastic, and it has that difficulty level that is absolutely brutal, but very satisfying when you get locked in and you knock everything out. Very, very cool game, and coming in at that price, really nice for the amount of content that you get. But you get the base game and the DLC, very solid. Next up is a game that I absolutely love, and that's Minecraft Dungeons. I had such a good time playing Minecraft Dungeons. I bought it on the original Nintendo Switch, and while it did have performance issues, it was still just a really fun experience overall. This one's coming in at $24.79. This is the Ultimate Edition that's coming in with all of the DLC, so that is very, very solid. This game has so much content packed into it. It's basically like a Diablo-style Minecraft game, and that's awesome because I'm such a fan of Diablo, and this game just kind of like hit everything right as far as the progression and everything. I really had such a fantastic time with this particular game. So if you're looking for something similar to Diablo to play on your Switch or your Switch 2, Minecraft Dungeons is a really solid option. Then we have Linked Banner of the Spark. Now, I've talked about this game a couple times, and I actually really like this game. It's not my favorite game that I've played this year on the Switch by any means. I think the combat is a touch floaty. But overall, the combination of the like level-based Hades style gameplay with this city builder aspect that this game has, it's a really fun experience, and you can play this game multiplayer as well and do the missions multiplayer, which is pretty cool. Coming in at $17.49, 30% off. Definitely something you want to check out, especially because this one does have a Switch 2 edition if you want to pick it up on the Switch 2. Mario and Sonic at the Toyko Games is also here. Coming in at $25, 60% off. This is just another good game. You know, people like this as like a party game. I remember playing the original Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games on my Wii with my parents. This was like one of the few games I could actually convince my mom to play, as you know, like do like a family game night. It was either Mario and Sonic or it was Wii Sports. Those were the two games I could convince my mom to play as a kid, and we played a lot of this on the Wii. So, you know, just a fun series, not something to, you know, take super seriously, but a good party game to add to your collection. Then we have Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. This is the complete edition, and this is coming in at only $5 at 90% off. Now, I have not played this particular Digimon game. However, I recently played the latest Digimon game, Time Stranger, and I had a fantastic time with that particular game. So if this game is even remotely close to that game, $5 is an absolute steal. I mean, Time Stranger was such a fantastic game, and I've heard good things about Cyber Sleuth. My buddy who also played Time Stranger was like, if you like Time Stranger, you should play Cyber Sleuth. So definitely a game that you should keep your eye on if you enjoyed Time Stranger, especially at that price point. It is very, very solid. Then we have Slay the Spire. This one's coming in at $8.49, 66% off. Now, I have not personally played Slay the Spire, but I have a buddy who loves card games in general, and I think Slay the Spire might be his second most played Switch game outside of Balatro. Like, this guy, it absolutely loves card games in general, just thinks they're fantastic, can't get enough card games, and loves Slay the Spire. So coming in at only $8.50 essentially, this game is kind of a no-brainer pickup if you're a fan of card games. Then we have Sonic X Shadow Generations coming in at $30, 40% off. I've heard very good things about Sonic X Shadow Generations. I actually haven't played it yet personally. I have it for my PlayStation 5. It's sitting on the shelf behind me, but I have not played it yet. And I heard the Shadow Generations portion of this game is actually just so good, and people really recommend picking up this game just for that. So if you're a fan of Sonic Generations and you enjoyed that game, and now you're interested in getting a little bit more content out of that, Sonic X Shadow Generations is apparently very, very good. Stormlancers, another game I've talked about a handful of times here on the channel. I actually really like this game. It's a new roguelike game that came out fairly recently, and it comes in on sale at $15 and 25% off. And basically, this game has a really fun mechanic of, as you progress through the game, you know, you have your ranged weapon and your melee weapon. You'll find different abilities along the way, like fireballs and things of that nature. But the most interesting component is the perk system, where as you progress, you'll find these perks, and they have a positive and a negative effect on your character. So you could have something that increases your range damage by 10% as long as no enemies are around you. But as soon as enemies get close to you, your range damage will then dip down and be lower than normal. So there's this fun like mix and match system that changes up how the gameplay works based on the risk and reward of each individual perk, and I think that makes this game really, really fun. It has this awesome anime like style to it and this like sci-fi world that you're playing in. Very cool game, and I do recommend it. Next one is Shinobi Art of Vengeance Digital Deluxe Edition. I love Shinobi Art of Vengeance. I played it on the Switch too, and I had such a fantastic time with this particular game. It is such a good time. I absolutely love it. And the Digital Deluxe Edition coming in with all the DLC included and everything like that. This one being $30, 25% off. Absolutely worth picking up. They're adding some additional content. This is a Sega game that they're adding DLC, and there will be Dr. Robotnik as a villain in the DLC. So that's really cool that they're like combining these IPs. Very, very awesome game, and I cannot recommend this one enough. Then we have Spyro and Crash Remastered Bundle. This includes the Crash Insane Trilogy and the Spyro Trilogy, and this one's coming in at $26.24 and 65% off. Now, the fact that this includes 6 games at that price, if you are a fan of Spyro and Crash at all, these are fantastic remasters of these particular games, and I cannot recommend you grab these enough. They were games that I played during my childhood, and they are super awesome now remastered on the Switch. Definitely worth it. 6 games for pretty much $27. Steal. Absolutely grab these games. Next up, I have Death's Door. Now, I played this on Xbox originally, and this is another fantastic... what do I compare this game to? Honestly, it reminds me of more of a Souls-like, a top-down Souls-like. Absolutely enjoyed my time with Death's Door on the Xbox. $5, 75% off on the Switch. Very, very much worth picking up if you're a fan of those Souls-like games. Very fun combat, very cool premise. It's just a really solid title all around. Cannot recommend that one enough. And again, another one that I cannot recommend enough is Animal Well, coming in at $18.74, 25% off. This is a platforming Metroidvania style game that came out and I played originally on the Steam Deck and is absolutely fantastic. I really enjoyed my time with Animal Well. Very much that classic Metroidvania kind of game where you're like constantly backtracking when you get new power-ups and abilities. It is just so much fun and so well designed. There's so many secrets hiding in this world, and it just is so good. I cannot recommend that one enough. Next up, I have Nine Souls. This one's coming in at $19.49, 35% off. I've heard nothing but good things about Nine Souls. It is very much a Hollow Knight-esque game, but has some interesting tweaks that make it a little bit different than Hollow Knight, and people just rant and rave about how much they enjoyed this particular game. It's got a fantastic art style. It's definitely a game that I'm interested in, but like I said earlier, there is so many games coming out right now that it's very difficult for me to justify picking up anything extra right now with how much is on my plate. So if you're into Hollow Knight, maybe you finished Silksong up already and you're looking for something else that's similar, Nine Souls is definitely worth checking out. Then we have like the first actual like horror game on this list, which is funny because this is a Halloween eShop sale. This is Fatal Frame Mask of the Lunar Eclipse Digital Deluxe Edition, coming in at $48.99, 30% off. Fatal Frame is a series that has been relatively popular. It sounds almost like from everything that I've seen online, it seems to be almost like a cult classic on the Switch and just in general the series. It seems like it has this like cult following that keeps this series alive. And almost, I think I heard something like rumblings about a new one even coming out here soon. So pretty cool if you're interested in looking for like a more horror-esque game for this Halloween sale. It is that time of year, so definitely worth checking out if that's something that you're interested in. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1+2 Digital Deluxe Edition is also on sale. This one's coming in at 60% off at $20. And again, just like the 3+4 Digital Deluxe Edition, if you're a fan of the Tony Hawk games, you have any nostalgia for playing them as a kid, these remakes are fantastic and they run pretty well on the Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2, so definitely worth checking out if you're a fan of skateboarding games and those more classic arcadey skateboarding games. These are a great time. Then we have Signalis, and this is a newer game, $14, 30% off. This one I've checked out a couple different times. This looks kind of like a sci-fi classic Resident Evil style game. It reminds me a lot of Resident Evil 1. It actually looks really cool, kind of has a little bit of a horror vibe to it, which definitely gives it points for me as someone who enjoys spooky season as much as I do. Definitely a game that you want to have on your radar if you're a fan of those classic Resident Evil style games. Next up, Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled Nitrous Oxide Edition, $22, 65% off. If you're a fan of kart racing games and you love Crash, there's no reason to not grab this one. I've never heard anyone say anything bad about Crash Team Racing. Everybody loves this series. It was super hype when it got remastered and came back. So if you're a fan, and if you're maybe, you know, certain games that are coming out right now, like Sonic Racing Cross Worlds or Mario Kart World aren't vibing with you, maybe just picking up an older game for a kart racer is the way to go. So this one could definitely be something that is interesting and worth checking out if you're a kart racing fan. The next one is one that I'm definitely going to be investigating a bit more. That's the Diablo Primeval Collection, which typically this means it includes both Diablo 3 as well as Diablo 2 on the Nintendo Switch. But the thing I want to check out is if the Diablo 2 game is actually just on sale by itself, because I already have Diablo 3 on the Switch. I've played it a ton. I love the Diablo series. Such a big fan. I would like to just be able to pick up Diablo 2 on sale, but I'll have to check it out, see if it's on sale or not. This one, the collection is coming in at $19.79 and 67% off. I absolutely love Diablo. Such a huge fan. So if you don't have access to either of the games that are included in this collection, it's definitely worth picking up. If you're a fan of Diablo at all, you want to go back and revisit some stuff, super fun series. Inscryption coming in at $7, 65% off. Another game that I've heard nothing but good things about. And again, it has that spooky element that fits this kind of Halloween eShop sale theme. So pretty cool that this one's coming in at such a fantastic price at that $7. That's really nice. Moving on, Five Nights at Freddy's Into the Pit, excuse me. That one's coming in at $15, 25% off. Five Nights at Freddy's, long-going series. Everybody loves it. That is like into the lore of this series. It's very deep lore and like a lot of unanswered questions. Really awesome series, and the movies are really, I've enjoyed the first movie quite a bit. I'm very excited for the new movie that's coming out. Just a fun series all around, fits that Halloween sale theme quite a bit. And then finally, we've got Limbo here, and Limbo is coming in at $2, 80% off. Now, I played Limbo in the past. I believe I played it on my PlayStation Vita way back in the day, and very good game. It reminds me a lot of like Little Nightmares. That's pretty much what Limbo reminds me of. It's a side-scrolling adventure that has this dark horror theme to it, and the gameplay is very similar to something of Little Nightmares. So if you're a fan of Little Nightmares and you're looking for something similar for $2, Limbo is like a no-brainer pickup. Definitely one that I recommend you check out. But that is going to do it for this particular sale. Again, this sale is running until Halloween at 11:59 p.m. So definitely worth checking out this particular sale if any of these games interest you. Let me know in the comments below if there's any other games on sale that you would recommend people pick up. I didn't select all the games from this particular sale. There's a couple other sales happening. I only went through the Halloween sale specifically for this video, so let me know if there's anything else enticing for people that is on sale currently. But like I said, that is it. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this in the future. It helps me out, helps the video out, and helps the channel out immensely. But until next time, peace.